gendered language, or the language of genders, is one of the most debated topics in the field of linguistics.
If you talk about this gender-like, that is language acquired or language acquisition of genders. So first, before discussing this gender-like language acquired by male and females, first we have to understand the term gender. Whether we are taking it as gender, the term gender, or we are taking it as the term from the biological point of view. Male, female, because when you talk about gender, so you differentiate into two terms or two categories, that is masculine and feminine. And when you talk biologically, then you categorize or differentiate it as male and female.
There are certain myths say that women are talkative and they are hesitant as compared to men, such as women use more polite language as compared to men. Men are considered to be more confident, authoritative in their language. So such differences which some people consider as myth and some consider it to be truth. So that is based on their gender.
और किसी ने मुझे पाला है ऐसे उसको ला दी.
In Western society or the Westerns, when they talk about gender, so they also include in that third gender. And even in third gender, there is diversity. Not that much diversity, but a limited diversity is there. Because in third gender, we also have people or the person or the variety that is more inclined towards male, or inclination means that they have attitude and the behavior like males. And similarly, we have another variety in them which have more traits of females. In females language, we find more, emotions. They use more emotive words. When they want to express, right, or when they are having such kind of situations which needed to be expressed, right, when they are in extreme anger or extreme excitement, right? So their words are more emotional, and as it is also said, they are more emotional as compared to males. When feminists talk about this gender-led, they don't believe in gender-led. It's a very interesting thing. They say, first putting males and females into two different genders, they consider it's a kind of unjust. Fine, they consider it that this is not judicious, and there is no gender. It is all social construction. That all these things are constructed socially. And even if you talk about biological division, and they give so many arguments that biologically we are not that much difference except appearances. But the fact, what we observe the societies in the world, or when we talk about the history of human being, right, we find differences. We find gender differences, we find biological differences.
Males are more skilled at doing certain tasks which are related to the visuospatial aspects. For example, how to finding out ways, and then being technical with the small things and with the opening and closing of different things. So they are joining parts of different things together. So the brain is more developed to do such like tasks. Whereas the females, they are more skilled at doing literature and arts and languages, and this difference is seen sometimes that baby girls start talking as well as at an earlier age, and they're more rich vocabulary at a younger age as compared to the men. So other than that, it has been seen that there are differences in emotional states in the areas that regulate the emotions in the human brain. For example, limbic system and amygdala. It's been seen that a larger portion of these areas are represented in the brain of females as compared to men. That's why it could be attributed that they have more emotional expressions and such like things as compared to their counterparts. It's also been seen in various research that the area of the brain that is connecting the two hemispheres or the two halves of the brain together, that is bigger, 5 to 7 times almost thicker in the female brains as compared to the male brains. And the implication is that they are whole thinkers, that they would communicate, the brain would take in every aspect of whatever is going on as compared to men who are more direct and linear thinkers. If a female, she is communicating with a male, there would be stereotype thinking, and these are all generalizations. This is not a rule of thumb that we apply to all. We are just talking about the majority of the stereotype. When she is communicating, she expects that the other person is, if actively listening to me, would be responding back, giving some signals, verbal or non-verbal. For example, nodding the head, or maybe saying certain things, or making an eye contact. And only then she would understand that he or is listening to her, is attentive towards her.
In our social culture and in our environment, we have seen that this is the male-dominating society, and in our houses as well as in our environment, we come to know that our girls are told not to express themselves openly. In the same way, they are also told in the educational institutions in the same manner. That is why they become reluctant and hesitant to express themselves. While the boys who are taken as dominated and dominating in their homes as well as in their society.
Some people feel that women are better communicators than men, but I think that it depends on your social circumstances, your education, your experience, your exposure. So I don't think that it is specifically related with gender. It is something which is acquired, and the more practice you have done, the better educated you are, you have better communication skills.
The
same phenomenon of genderlect and the differences between communication styles of different genders can be observed in the Pakistani media.
When you have journalists, reporters, when you have a male figure present, what happens is that they have this story, or this thought process that goes, they have to be aggressive. When they're aggressive, they kind of miss out on the main points. If they're interviewing someone, they're asking someone questions, by being aggressive, they're actually throwing the person that they're asking questions off. When you have a female reporter, people feel like they can easily connect because they're more empathetic, I guess, to a certain extent. They can kind of read emotions. You know, there's this closeness you have with female reporters that you can't have with male reporters. Now, it all comes down to communication, right? You have a male reporter being overly aggressive. You have a female reporter who's willing to sit down and listen to you. And then, unfortunately, in our culture, we have this, it's in our heads that, you know, you have a male figure, they are going to be aggressive, they're going to be rude, you know, they're not going to be someone pleasant to talk to, they're not going to be soft, they're going to be hard. Where if you're speaking to a woman, you expect them to be soft. Again, this is not something that is taught to you, it's cultural. Unfortunately, I mean, I would say this is unfortunate because I see no difference between men and women the way they communicate. I respect each, you know, I don't judge them, or I don't have biases depending on the gender. I give them equal respect.
Over a short period of time, NUST Business School has emerged as one of the premier business schools of Pakistan. In recent years, with the addition of media courses, the place has become a hub of communication. So we conducted a survey here to find out about the level of exposure of students to this particular topic of gendered language. 87% of the students agreed on the point that a certain gender communicates in a specific style. However, when asked about which gender communicates better, the results were almost neutral, with a little inclination towards females. Although this survey showed awareness among the sample population, but keeping in mind that this sample comprised of highly educated people, the results are not quite satisfactory. Hence, a lot of research work has to be done in this field in order to overcome the existing communication gaps and, above all, for the betterment and progress of our society.